So it's right here. Eat it, drink it, sweep it too. Walk with it. Soon the negatives drop off. How soon?
Soon.
Soon's a good word. You ever look up the word? You ever look up the word soon?
Not until right now.
This is a good word. This helped me because you have something you think is going to take so long. You're looking at it, and oh man, this is. Then you read a word like soon. Here we go. All right, soon. Chuck, take it away.
In the near future, shortly. Number 2, without hesitation, promptly. Number 3, before the usual or appointed time, early. Number 4, with willingness, readily. 5, obsolete, immediately.
Wow. Okay, Evelyn?
Within a short period after a specified time, event. Before long, in the near future, promptly or quickly, readily or willingly.
Promptly, quickly, soon. Archaic, it was immediately. Well, how immediate would it be? If you want to get out of your prisons today, what do?
You immediately change your thinking.
Yeah, what does it say exactly? It's in your chapter. You were right, Evelyn. Immediately. Go ahead, read the quote.
Immediately change your thinking about your situation, change your subject of focus. As you change your thinking, you will draw a mental pattern for the things you do want in your life, which in turn will dispel and root out those things you do not want.
Okay. So, yeah. Soon. So how soon? As soon as you put God's word of deliverance into your mind and heart. As soon as you change your thinking. Immediately. Immediately, if you put the positives on, the negatives drop off. And the positives become yours. This is now about continuing to do that, though. And as you continue to do it, the result is going to arrive. How soon? Soon. So one part you can do immediately. The next part takes a little longer. But how soon is it? Soon. The result of which is release from any prison you are in. It can be done. It will be done. For as Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me. Okay, it is July 29th, 2003.
Your birthday.
I'm still celebrating my birthday, yes. It's the 25th, and I will be celebrating it until next year, on the 24th. All right. Matter of fact, maybe I'll celebrate this birthday for the rest of my life.
It's still your birthday.
I'll stay 46 for the rest of my life. And since it's my birthday party, I'm going to wear my birthday clothes. Anyway, okay.
I'll be in my office.
Good. Alrighty, and we have in attendance with Chuck, Evelyn, and myself, Sophia this morning. Say hi, Sophia.
Hi, Sophia.
All right. Well, we're on page 8, but we're going to take a look at just a reminder on page 7, the middle paragraph. If you want to get out of your prisons today, immediately change your thinking about your situation. Change your subject of focus. Subject. Subject, that's the part that's in your mind, independent of the object. The object could be totally different than what the subject is. So change your subject of focus. As you change your thinking, you will draw a mental pattern for the things you do want in your life, which in turn will dispel and root out those things you do not want. And that is really fantastic, the word root out. In the Greek, by the way, that word is, let's see, rhizo. I'm looking at rhizo or rhizome right now. Let's see, 44 something here. 3. It is Risa. Risa. And rooted is rhizoome. Rhizoome. That's the Greek word for root. We get our word rhizome, spelled R-H-I-Z-O-M-E, or rhizome, from that word, also the word root. But rhizome is has a very particular definition. A root-like, usually horizontal stem growing under or along the ground and sending out roots from its lower surface and leaves or shoots from its upper surface. How do you like that? So it goes like that and then sends things down and sends things up. This kind of root. Also called rootstock or root stalk. From Greek, mass roots of a tree. The Greek word, which we already read, rhizo, that Greek word is from the dictionary now. Mass roots of a tree. To take root. And then here's the word root in the dictionary, in the synonyms section. It's the synonyms under the word origin. Under the word origin. This is very interesting. Root usually refers to beginnings in the sense of fundamental cause. The fundamental cause. Or basic reason for something of consequence. I'll read it again. Root usually refers to beginnings in the sense of fundamental cause. There you have cause and effect, remember? You got another one? Root definition there? Or basic reason for something of consequence. What's the basic reason? Now, what does basic mean?
Simple.
Look it up.
Right. Let's see.
Yeah.
Huh? Okay, basic.
Basic. Pertaining to or constituting a basis, underlying, fundamental, producing, resulting, from or pertaining to a base, containing a base, especially in excess of acid.
That's chemistry.
Yeah. Fundamentally, essentially. But that's basically something that is basic.
Okay, pertaining to a base. What's the etymology?
Doesn't have it for basic.
Okay. They might have it for base or something. Pertaining to a base?
Pertaining to or constituting a basis.
Basis. We better look that word up. Let's look up basis. Be nearby.
Yeah.
A foundation upon which something rests. The chief or most stable component of anything. Fundamental ingredient, principle, criterion. These synonyms at base.
Okay. Go ahead and do that. E.
Base.
Okay.
The lowest
Just
or
the synonyms. Go to the synonyms.
base, basic, foundation, ground, groundwork. These nouns all pertain to what underlies and supports. Base is applied chiefly to material things, the base of a fountain. Basis is used in non-physical sense, the basis of a rumor. Foundation applies physically and figuratively. and more comprehensively than either of the foregoing. It stresses firmness of support for something of relative magnitude.
Cool. Okay, while we're at it, we may as well look up root. Are you at root, Evelyn? Okay, would you read it, please?
The body, a part of the body of a plant that develops typically from the radicle and grows downward into the soil, fixing the plant and absorbing nutrients and moisture. A similar organ developed from some other part of a plant as one of those by which ivy clings to its support. Any underground part of a plant as a rhizome.
Is it rhizome or rhizome? Is there a long I or a short? Oh, it doesn't have
It doesn't break it down like that.
Okay. All right. Would you look up rhizome, Sophia?
The
And would you look up root,
background
Jen?
provided by one's culture, religion,
R-H.
often guided.
Go ahead, say that, Evelyn. Read that louder.
Well, this is under roots. The background provided by one's culture, religion, home, etc., often regarding as promoting the development of personal character or the stability of society as a whole. And it has all kinds of stuff here. Synonym basis, which we looked at, beginning, fountainhead, parent, are the synonyms.
Does it have a synonym explanation like this one does, or no?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Who's got root or rhizome? Well, let's go with root. Let's go with root first.
Root, the usual underground portion of a plant that serves as support, draws food and water from the surrounding soil, and stores food.
Stores food.
Life suckers.
It stores food.
Mm-hmm.
So even for a period of time, when it doesn't have any nutrient, it has some there because it stores it. Interesting. What you got? Is it rye or rib?
It's rye,
Okay.
rhizome, botany. A root-like, usually horizontal stem growing under or along the ground and sending out roots from its lower surface and leaves or shoots from its upper surface, also called rootstock. Rootstock. It's two different spellings, same word.
Well, stock and stalk.
Stalk,
Mhm.
right? Stock and stalk. From Greek, rhizoma, massive roots of a tree from rhizutai, to take root from rhiza, root. See Wirid in appendix. Rhizomatous.
Okay. Well, there you have it. All you'll ever need to know. Boy, I bet you there's a lot more to know about roots, huh?
Oh, I'm back.
But that's something else. Origin. Let's see. Look up origin, please, and the synonyms, because this will help also. That's where I got that usage of root, and we'll understand some more things about it. And Evelyn, would you look up fundamental?
Origin. That from which anything derives its existence, a source or cause.
But
Parent.
go down to the synonyms.
Where it is? Oh, here we go. Not every word has that. Okay. Origin, source, root, inception.
Origin, source, root, inception.
These nouns relate to beginnings. Origin, applicable to persons as well as things. Indicates the often remote place and time when something began. Inception, more specific.
Wait a minute. The often remote. Remote from what?
It's supposed to be. It's a word.
Read it again, please.
Often, okay. Origin, applicable to persons as well as things, indicates the often remote place and time when something began.
Remote from what?
Itself.
The often remote place and time when something began.
No thought.
Remote from what?
I was going to say everything, please.
Remote from its origins?
Well, yeah. You got something that it could have happened place. It could happen in China and affect you. Time, it could have happened 20 years ago. 25 years ago. I don't know. How old are you now?
26.
Yeah, see? Remote place or time. I mean, somewhere that root system didn't happen overnight to get that involved. Go ahead, Ellen. Or no, you were still reading.
Yeah, inception. More specific, marks the actual start of an action or process. Source. Also more specific, stresses the place from which something is derived or comes into being. It may also denote a person or printed work considered as a giver of information. Root. Usually refers to beginnings in the sense of fundamental cause or basic reason for something of consequence.
Alrighty, great. And what did you have, Evelyn? Fundamental?
Fundamental, serving as or being an essential part of a foundation or basis. Basic, underlying. Pertaining to or affecting the foundation or basis. Being an original or primary source.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So as we read again, this is really something. And there's still more work to be done. Chuck, I know you're working on it, and now Anthos is going to be working on it. Because he understands some of these things from his training in psychology, and yet he goes, there's no one has ever, they never taught me anything like this. They never. Yeah.
They're not teaching the word.
Right.
And they spent all that time working on the mind, and here the Word has it very simply, and here in this book, Dr. Worrell had handled it very simply. So, this is very key. Remember if-then statements? That's a logic pattern. If-then. And sometimes then is implied. You may not see the word then, but it's still implied, because if there is an if, then there must be a then. If-then. Direct or implied in a logic statement, you know. If you do thus and so, you will receive thus and so. If you don't do so and so, this is what will happen. If this, if that, if this, if that. It's conditional, see? If you want to get out of your prisons today. Do some people want to stay in prison? We handled this before. Yes, they do. It's comfortable. It's an old shoe. They don't have to change. You know, and in leadership and growth denotes change. Right?
Sure.
You've got to change
Absolutely.
to grow.
Absolutely.
You can't stay the same and grow. If you want to get out, see, of your prisons, out. Not peacefully coexist with the prison. And that's another thing. That's also a thing that we deal with. You know, it's not just staying in there with the door open. Well, I can leave whenever I want. Great, do it. You know, people would say, well, I can stop eating whenever I want. I eat a lot, but I can stop whenever I want. Great, do it. I can stop drinking whenever I want. Great, do it. I can stop doing drugs whenever I want. Great, do it.
I don't really want.
Yeah, right,
Right
exactly.
now, right.
Right.
I don't want to.
But next week I'll get
Right.
back to it.
Right. So if you want to get out of your prisons today, immediately do what?
Change your
So if
thinking.
someone doesn't immediately change their thinking, do they want to get out of their prison that day?
No,
No, they don't.
it's mental effect.
So if you want to get out of your prisons today, immediately, what a great word that is. We didn't look that one up. Did we?
I think we did. I'll let you know.
No, we thought about it. No, we didn't. We didn't look it up. That's got to be a wonderful word.
You looked up soon.
Mm-hmm. You remember that, don't you? We didn't look up immediate. Immediate, or immediately. Which one? Immediate?
Immediately, the synonyms are really, well, it says without intermediary. Synonyms: immediately, instantly, forthwith, directly, promptly, presently. These adverbs mean with little or no delay. They are arranged in approximate order of intensity.
Okay, we better look up immediate. We're going to come back to that, Chuck. I want that. And that's an adverb, and an adverb modifies what, Evelyn and Chuck?
A verb,
What else?
a pronoun.
An adjective.
Right. Not a pronoun. Not a pronoun.
Pronouns like
Used in
you,
present.
she, right?
Mhm. So, an adverb modifies a verb, an adverb, or an adjective. That was the one that had three things, remember? Anyway, moving right along.
Immediate. Acting or occurring without mediation or acting or occurring without mediation or interposition. Direct. Immediate implementation. Directly apprehended or perceived. Immediate awareness. Next in line or relation, the immediate successor. Occurring without delay, an immediate response. Of or near the present time, the immediate future. Close at hand, near, the immediate vicinity.
See, the reason people don't immediately change their thinking is because of fear. That's what produces the delay. They're afraid. They're afraid. What am I going to become? That's why we work so hard on sonship rights. Meet the new you. Because people are afraid. They're so used to whatever it is, even though negative or destructive. But fear is what stops the immediate action. Go ahead, Chuck. What do you have?
Find the synonyms.
Okay, then we'll go to synonyms. What do you have, Evelyn?
Occurring or accomplished without delay, instant, of or pertaining to the present time or moment, following without a lapse of time, having no object or space intervening, nearest or next, without intervening medium or age expressed.
Okay, now what do you have for the synonyms at immediately?
Instantaneous.
Instantaneous. Okay.
Immediately, instantly, forthwith, directly, promptly, presently. These adverbs mean with little or no delay. They are arranged in approximate order of intensity. Continue?
Yeah. Go.
Immediately and instantly imply no delay whatever, as between request and response. Forthwith, directly, and promptly all stress readiness of response, but with a brief interval prior to fulfillment of the action involved. Presently has the mere force of soon.
Boy, read that one more time. Take your time, too. This is really
All
interesting.
the synonyms?
Yeah.
Immediately, instantly, forthwith, directly, promptly, presently. These adverbs mean with little or no delay. They are arranged in approximate order of intensity. Immediately and instantly imply no delay whatever, as between request and response. Forthwith, directly, and promptly all stress readiness of response, but with a brief interval prior to fulfillment of the action involved. Presently has the mere force of soon.
Boy, that's something. Delay hits me there, the word delay. And what I already mentioned, the fear situation there. Listen to this, the word delay. See, without delay, remember? Immediately and instantly is without delay. There is no, time? There's no between request and something? reply.
No delay whatever
No delay whatever
between request and response.
between request and response. This is one of the things I've tried and worked with our young people on, and of course Dr. Rowe worked with us in the core on, between suggesting something and who would do anything about it. You know, a request. Was there a delay? Which I've been working with you guys on too. Wonder what that word means. And then you go, yeah, I wonder. But you don't anymore. Now you look it up. You're thinking, okay, yeah, what does that mean? So you get your dictionary, you look it up. There's no delay. It's in that delay. Same thing. So many things apply to these retemers. It's in that delay. The word's there, and so you go, I wonder if that's the right word. And then it's gone. You're toast already. You ever notice that if I quoted a verse right now and said, okay, what was that verse? And you said it right then, you'd get it perfect. But as soon as you start delaying, what happens? You miss it. Because you forget one little part, or your mind still heard it. It's still there, and there's a special kind of memory that you have when you hear a sound and the sound ends and you still hear it for like a millisecond or two afterwards. There's something, I forget what it's called, but the sound is over, but you still hear it in your head. The difference between the object and the subject. Now, if you'll take what you hear in your head and keep repeating it and working it, you'll grab it. You know this. Someone gives you a phone number. If you immediately take that phone number and repeat it. Delay. To postpone until a later time. Defer. To cause to be late or detained. Hinder. To procrastinate or tarry. Linger. The act of delaying, postponement, the condition of being delayed, detainment. These don't sound good. The period of time during which one is delayed. The time interval between any two events. The time interval between any two events. Now look at what we just learned about immediate and instantly. There is no time interval between request and reply. Or, if someone wants to get out of their prison today, there is no time interval between what? Immediately change. Remember, immediately is an adverb. Change here is the verb. Change. Change. Please have change prepared. Let's see. Some etymology, Middle English, delayen, from Old French, delayer, deslayer, des, from Latin, de, off, and laer, variant of lacier, to leave, let, from Latin, laxere, to slacken. Slackers! Yeah. Undo, from laxus, slack, loose. So, off from des, off plus slack, to slack off. Change. Get the word change ready, please. Synonyms, delay, slow, retard, detain, check. Retard reminds you of something, doesn't it?
Check.
To check. See, delay is a verb. So you check someone. Have you ever heard that expression used like that? You check someone. You go, wait a second, where are you going? Or in hockey, you check someone. You stop their motion. You understand?
Yeah, I understand, but I've never heard it used.
Delay, slow, retard, detain, check. These verbs mean, transitively, to hold back and thus hinder or prevent action or progress. Delay applies either to putting behind schedule or to postponing or deferring action. Slow means to decrease in pace, often deliberately. Often deliberately. To decrease in pace. Boy, when God tells us something to do, when should we do it?
When he tells us.
No delay. No slacking off. Slowing of pace. What can you think of an example in the Word of someone who did it right? A specific example. We know Jesus Christ always did it right, but a specific example.
Stretch forth thy hand.
Okay. That's a very good one. Another one.
Samuel or Saul? No. Okay, another one.
Well, we know Philip in the book of Acts.
Right.
Go join thyself to that chariot. And Philip ran. There was no delay. He ran. In service, the Greek word diakonia means what?
Run. Diak, a servant. Servant, diak. Konia.
You've said both things. Just
Servant.
one who
Run to serve.
runs to serve.
Yeah.
One who runs
Okay.
to serve. Not one who delays to serve, like you see waitresses. Ah, a customer. I was almost done with my nails. You know? One who runs to serve. Not delays. Anyway. Retard also stresses slackening of pace, intentional or otherwise. In the latter case, it often refers to frustration of progress or development. Detain stresses holding at a particular point in time or place, and thus preventing action. Check implies sudden impending of action. Impeding, not impending, excuse me. Sudden impeding of action or progress in mid-course, usually by restraint. That's like what is it? A leash on a dog. It checks them. They're checked. Sudden impeding of action or progress in mid-course. So, okay, change. What do you have, Chuck, for change?
Change says to cause to be different, alter, to give a completely different form of appearance, to transform, to give and receive reciprocally, interchange, to exchange for or replace by another, usually the same kind or category. To lay aside, abandon, or leave from another. Switch.
Not switch like the American trade guy.
Isn't that that kind of switch?
Okay, good.
To become different or altered, to go from one faith to another, to make exchange, to become deeper in tone and
Okay. So change. You have anything? What do you have, Evelyn?
Change. Change. I have change. To make different the form, nature, content, future, course.
Take your time when you guys, you're in such a hurry, you don't remember a damn thing when you get through. Change. Take your time. What is it again? To do what? Say that again, Evelyn, please.
To make different the form,
Form.
nature,
Nature.
content,
Content.
future course,
Future course.
etc.
Form, nature, content, future course. Form. Nature. Form would just be outward. Nature would be inward. Future course. I missed something. Form, nature, content. What's inside. Future course. Nature would relate to root. Of course, so would future course. Because if the root is changed, the plant will be changed. Go ahead. Etc. That's it?
To transform or to convert.
Okay. If you want to get out of, thank you. If you want to get out of your prisons today, immediately, no delay. How do you like that? Immediately. I'm going to work on this tomorrow. Then you don't get out of your prison today. Won't get out of it tomorrow that way either, if that's the thinking. Well, I'm going to have one more pack of cigarettes and then... How many times people said that? Okay, this is my last pack. And then someone gives them one. Well, I'll just have one. That rarely ever works. I leave rarely in there for the possibility that it would work sometime. But immediately you could be halfway in a cigarette and you go, that's it. And you put it out. That's the kind of thinking. You put it out, for example, or halfway into whatever it is, and you stop. You don't go, I'm going to finish this and then. That's not immediate. And instead of building the right kind of mental habit, it builds the delay habit. Wow. Immediately change your thinking. Change. Now I wonder how many times change comes up in this book. Immediately change your thinking about your situation. Change your subject of focus. Can you change your subject of focus?
Yes.
Can you always change the object?
No.
No, not always. The object may not be within your control, but you can change the subject immediately. And when you change the subject, you can be happy. If you change to a subject you like. Bishop K.C. Pillai used to say, if your thinking gives you pain, change it. And yet, how many times do people keep thinking painful thoughts? Mm-hmm. Thoughts of what would be the two most life-sucking types of painful thoughts? Well, ignorance of the word. You don't even have any good thoughts. You're ignorant. And condemnation. Condemnation thoughts are life-sucking. And yet people love that stuff, man. Don't they? Apparently. They love the feeling of being condemned somehow. Whoa. Why? It's an ego trip. Condemnation and pride are like brother and sister. You can only stay condemned if you say to God right in his face, God, you don't know what you're talking about. That's what you do when you condemn yourself. You're calling God a bare-faced liar.
Sure.
Number two, you're saying to the Lord Jesus Christ, what you did, Jesus, was worthless. Mm-hmm. It wasn't enough. Can you get back? Because now I got to do some of it. Mm-hmm. It's such an ego trip, and it's so devilish and deceptive. This is why it's such a life sucker. It's devilish and deceptive because you put yourself in the place of Jesus Christ. Whoa. How's that for? You talk about stupid. Now that's stupid. But it's an ego trip. You found condemnation?
Pride.
Oh, pride? Read it.
Because I thought that, I noticed that pride and condemnation.
For pride in the dealing with the adversary retemeries. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but of the world. 1 John 2:16.
Stop right there. Pride also enables you to keep doing the dumb things you want to do.
Sure.
Because you can then condemn yourself to redeem yourself from what you're doing. I'm sorry, go ahead. I just didn't want to lose that thought.
Go ahead.
You understand it? See? Then you can, that's why we don't allow condemnation. I don't care what you've done. You don't get to condemn yourself around me for what you've done. Number one, it's counterproductive at least. Destructive at best. All those things just tie in there. Now read, what's the one for condemnation? Let's see, what would condemnation be in what category? Okay, what was pride in what category? Attitude? Who knows?
Let's see, pride is in the emotions.
Emotions.
Category.
Wow. That's deep. I gotta think that one through. Pride is in the emotion.
Condemnation is in the attitude category.
Whoa!
So I need to get 6. Here's condemnation. And condemnation reads, of course, there is therefore now no condemnation to them who are for them which are in Christ Jesus, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. Romans 8:1.
You see what? This is a great thing to practice, this immediate thing. Why it's so important to do that. Because, okay, say you blow it. You can either go to prison for blowing it or not. You can go to prison or not. Now, if you go to prison, then they feed you slop. People try to beat you up. You can't go where you want to go. They give you these lousy clothes. There's no high fashion there. They put you on a metal bed. You crap in a metal toilet. You know. And you have to listen to someone going, Roxanne, you don't have to, Rox. Or you can immediately change your subject of focus from the screw up to the move up, to God's forgiveness, God's grace, God's mercy. See, you immediately change. Even if you have to confess your broken fellowship, you immediately change from condemnation mode to forgiveness mode, to getting forgiven. You understand? You see how those, one counts on me. Condemnation, I'm basing it on what I have done or can do. I can put myself down to pay for this. Can you?
No, you can't.
Will that really work? Can you redeem yourself? Can you justify yourself? Can you make yourself righteous?
The devil knows that every son of God has legal rights, and he also knows that he has already been redeemed.
So he tries to keep us ignorant of the word, so we do not know our sonship rights, and to influence us toward condemnation, so we will not use our sonship rights. Sophia, broken fellowship is an influence to condemnation. The point of it is condemnation. Why? Because the broken fellowship could last for 2 seconds, 3 seconds, a minute, and the condemnation could last for the rest of your life. And when that root, we need to work that. I want to see what that, if it equates that. I did see in the word the root of righteousness, so it would suggest the opposite of a root of condemnation. But that would be one deep root. And see, then pride is involved there. Anthos was talking about how he's been noticing three things. Rebelliousness, something, and anger. Rebelliousness, stubbornness, and anger. Rebelliousness and stubbornness go together very closely. Then rebelliousness, stubbornness, and anger. Anger gets involved. And I didn't tell him I'll let him find it, but I knew already pride had to be involved.
Yeah.
But I just shut my mouth. I'll let him find it. But pride, look at how these things, and then you're going to have, in there you're going to have condemnation. Man, it's something how these things, which we've noticed before. Now, remember, under words, you go to the university, BCC, where there's lying rationalization. And those, so the 5 cards within within words on, that's just how I remembered it, was B, what?
Bitterness.
Bitterness, don't look.
Oh.
BCC. Bitterness, clamor.
Condemnation.
Nope.
Corrupt communication.
Corrupt communication, or evil communication, but corrupt communication, correct. L.
Lying.
Lying,
And
R.
rebellion. No, there's no rebellion. Resentment.
Rationalization. Rationalization.
Make it okay.
Yeah. It wasn't real.